In 1972, a Vulcan bomber from RAF Akrotiri flew all the way to New Zealand for an airshow, officially. Unofficially, the crew just wanted to pick up a silver bat mascot from the widow of a former squadron commander. They were the first Vulcan back in NZs since 1959, when one crashed at Wellington, so they were already making history. But on arrival, local airmen zapped the bomber, painting kiwi birds inside the roundels on both sides of the nose during the trip. They buzzed a steam train called the Kingston Flyer and later got a cheeky telegram from the driver. Great flyby stop. Oil leak under left wing stop. Even funnier, months later, the co-pilot found a magazine in a UK shop with a full spread of their Vulcan flying through Milford Sound, shot by a random honeymooning Aussie fisherman. On the way home, both front windscreens cracked, crossing the intertropical front. The Vulcan diverted to Singapore. The crew caught a VC-10 back to Cyprus, and when the aircraft finally landed back at bay, the station commander demanded to know why his bomber was flying with New Zealand roundels. Ron had forgotten to clean off the Kiwis. Story 2. In 2009, during a winter deployment to Bagram Air Base, UH-60 Black Hawk pilot Pete Latham pulled off a legendary radio prank. As he descended toward the base, he grabbed the mic, and in a flawless Russian accent, called out, "Brigadem Tower, Ziz's Wadka, Lunding Vanway Toddy." The tower, used to hearing this exact accent from Russian Mi-8 crews, scanned the skies but saw no massive white helicopters, only two Black Hawks approaching from the south. Confused, the controller asked for his position. Without missing a beat, Latham responded, "Brigadem Tower, Zizizi Wadka. Surprise. I am in Black Hawk." The radio frequency exploded with laughter. Russian Mi-8s were a familiar sight over Afghanistan. Giant, white, Cold War-era machines flown by friendly crews who often hung out with U.S. pilots on joint stops. Their call sign was always vodka, their accents unmistakable. Latham's perfect impersonation cut through months of routine and boredom. Within days, others copied the joke, but unmatched the original. That first vodka call became instant radio folklore. Story 3. October 27, 1962, the most dangerous day of the Cold War. At 72,000 feet, USAF Major Rudolf Anderson is flying AU-2 over Cuba on a routine recon mission. He doesn't know Soviet SAM sites have gone active. Earlier that morning, Fidel Castro demanded Soviet commanders shoot down any U.S. aircraft violating Cuban airspace. Moscow had given no such order, but on the ground, two Soviet generals make a call of their own as Anderson's U-2 flies directly over a Soviet cruise missile unit armed with nuclear warheads. Soviet radars track him as Target 33. Lacking contact with their commander, Soviet officers bypass protocol and order a launch. 3 SA-2 missiles fire. One explodes above the U-2, shattering the airframe. A shard rips through Anderson's pressure suit, killing him instantly. His wreckage crashes near Baines. Back in Washington, Kennedy is briefed. Minutes earlier, he'd approved a full-scale invasion if any U.S. aircraft was down, but he holds back, believing it was a local decision, not Kremlin order. He's right that one choice may have stopped World War III. Story 4. In March 1999, a Yugoslav SA-3 missile strikes Vega 31, an F-117 stealth jet. The pilot, Dale Zelko, ejects and lands deep in enemy territory. Within hours, NATO launches a massive rescue. A-10s, F-15s, F-16s, A-6BS, and an AC-130 converge. An ABCCC takes charge, coordinating from the skies. Tankers reroute mid-mission to keep the A-10s airborne. One of them, Sandy 51, a captain on his first combat sortie, finds Zelko and takes command. A SAR team, 2 MH-53s and an MH-60 launches from Tuzla. Weather is poor, calms are patchy, and Serb forces are hunting. But Zelko's GPS confirms his position and A-10's validated. The rescue package crosses into Serbian airspace just before dawn. Flying at 50 feet, the MH-60 finally spots Zelko's flare. They land fast. PJs jump out, grab him and yell, "Your PJs are here to take you home." 45 seconds later, they're airborne. After 7.5 hours behind enemy lines, Zelko is safe. Story 5. At the 1989 Paris Air Show, Soviet test pilot Anatoly Kvacher was flying a MiG-29 when a bird strike crippled his right engine during a low-speed, high-angle pass. With only 180 km/h of airspeed, Kvacher lost the ability to counter the thrust asymmetry. The MiG yawed, rolled, and dropped into an unrecoverable dive. At just 92 meters altitude and 2 seconds before impact, Kvacher pulled the ejection handle, blasting clear outside the seat's recommended safety envelope. The MiG exploded beside the runway. In a fireball, Kvacher's parachute brought him down just 30 meters from the crash site, suffering only bruises and a cut from his oxygen mask. His survival highlighted the effectiveness of the Zvezdik A-36DM ejection seat, and the MiG-29's crash showed impressive structural strength. The nose and cockpit buried themselves into the soft ground before exploding. Despite speculation about lightning strikes, the final investigation confirmed bird strike as the cause.